On a remote island, hidden from the maps of history, lives a people who turned away from the world. They became legendary for an extraordinary choice they made. That choice, to forget. Long ago, when ships first appeared on their horizon, they saw what outsiders brought: disease, violence, and exploitation. And so they made a choice that would define their existence. They severed all ties with the outside and built a life completely on their own. With each generation passing, the memory of outsiders faded like a forgotten language. This is the story of that island and its people. This is the presenter. This is a short about remembering and forgetting. Let's begin. Theirs is a story of disconnection, but also of resilience. While the rest of humanity moved through agriculture, empires, and technology, these islanders held fast to their way of life. They fish in shallow lagoons with tools of wood and bone. They gather fruits, roots, and honey from the forest. They light fires that burn through generations, never extinguished. Every ritual, every story told by elders carries the memory of who they are and why they remain apart. Let's go back even further. In the beginning, there was contact. Ships arrived carrying curious men with kind smiles and shiny wares. But the gifts were few and far between, given only to a select few, while others suffered sickness and death. Once inside the settlements, many did not return. Those who did, carried tales of distant lands filled with wonder and peril. Yet despite the allure of the unknown, the elders warned of the dangers beyond the waves. They spoke of pirates and slavers, of diseases that could decimate their people, of a world that would snuff out their traditions like a flame in the wind. So when the next ship arrived, they were ready. The islanders drove it back with shouts and spears, their unified voice echoing across the water. Over time, these encounters became less frequent, but the fear remained, growing into a deep-rooted determination to protect their way of life. The island's response to the outside world was a resounding no, a wordless testament to their unyielding spirit. As centuries passed, the no became a shield, deflecting the advances of the modern world. The island existed as if time had stopped, a sanctuary untouched by the relentless march of progress. It became a place where the rhythm of life was dictated by the tides, where survival depended on the bounty of the sea and the generosity of the land. Imagine their lives. Sun-kissed days filled with the scent of blooming hibiscus and the sound of crashing waves. Nights lit by the soft glow of torches, where stories of ancestors were shared around crackling fires. Life here was simple, bound to the rhythms of nature. They lived in harmony with the environment, taking only what they needed and giving back in respect and reverence. But their existence was not without challenges. Storms could decimate their crops. Animal migrations might disrupt their food supply. Yet they persevered, adapting and adjusting to the whims of nature, finding solutions in the wisdom of their traditions. Each challenge was a test, each solution a victory, hard won but deeply appreciated. They navigated their existence with dugout canoes, their vessels as timeless as the sea itself. These canoes became their lifeline, carrying them across the vast expanse of their island home. They used fishing spears, harpoons, and nets, their techniques honed over generations to perfection. Their catch replenished their bodies and sustained their lives. Their shelters were sanctuaries, typically constructed from materials found in abundance on the island. Sturdy and safe, they stood as symbols of resilience against the vagaries of the weather. Their social structure was one of cooperation and mutual respect. Decisions were often made through a consensus, ensuring that everyone's voice was heard, their collective wisdom guiding them towards the best course of action. Their system of beliefs was as intricate as the patterns of the stars in the night sky. Nature played a pivotal role in their faith, with spirits believed to inhabit every tree, every rock, every stream. Respect for the natural world was more than a belief. It was a way of life, but their idyllic existence was often disrupted by outsiders, by explorers and adventurers who stumbled upon their shores. These encounters were rare, but when they happened, they were fraught with tension. The islanders' first instinct was always the same, to drive away anyone who threatened their way of life. Their spears were sharp, their arrows swift and accurate, but they rarely killed unless they had to. Their goal was to send a message, to instill fear and respect. One such encounter was with an explorer who ventured too close to their shore. He was curious, eager to understand the ways of these enigmatic people, but his curiosity was met with suspicion and hostility. The explorer, with his strange attire and even stranger customs, was seen as a potential threat. The islanders, protective of their traditions, responded with aggression. The explorer, though initially wary, was intrigued. He observed their rituals, their daily life, their interactions with the land and sea. He saw a society that was not only resilient but thriving, a community bound together by invisible threads of respect, cooperation, and tradition. The turning point came when the explorer fell ill. The islanders, witnessing his suffering, displayed a surprising act of compassion. Despite their fears and hostilities, they cared for him, sharing their knowledge of medicinal plants and providing him with food and shelter. In time, the explorer recovered, and with him, understanding between the two cultures grew. He learned of their fears of the outside world, their desire to remain free from its influences, and their deep connection to their land and traditions. He realized that their hostility was born out of fear, their fear of losing what made them who they were. When he finally left, it wasn't with treasures or artifacts, but with a newfound respect and a story that would change how the world saw these enigmatic islanders. Their rejection of us is not hatred. It is protection. Protection of their land, their children, and their traditions that stretch back tens of thousands of years. In forgetting us, they preserved themselves. But their future is uncertain. Rising seas and modern intrusion creep closer each year. Their isolation, once guaranteed, is fragile in a world where nothing remains hidden for long. The island's decision to forget us may not be enough to keep us away forever. Yet as long as they hold to their traditions, as long as the rhythm of their lives beats in harmony with the island's heart, they will continue to thrive. Their story is a reminder that true strength lies in unity, true freedom in preserving one's identity. The island chose to forget us, not out of spite or anger, but as a shield against the relentless tide of change. They chose to disconnect to preserve what was most precious to them, their way of life. The story of the island serves as a powerful metaphor for the human condition. We, like the islanders, grapple with the forces of change and progress, trying to find our balance in an ever-shifting world. The island's resilience in the face of adversity is a lesson for us all. In a world that often values material progress over cultural preservation, the island stands as a beacon of continuity, showing us that tradition and custom are not relics of the past, but living, breathing parts of our collective heritage. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, the island's story reminds us of the importance of respecting and preserving cultural diversity. Their way of life, born out of harmony with nature and enriched by generations of experience, is a testament to the beauty of human resilience. And yet, as we admire their tenacity, we must also acknowledge the precariousness of their existence. The rising tides and encroaching modern world pose a constant threat to their way of life. The island's choice to forget us compels us to confront our own role in the world. Their disconnection from us is not a rejection of humanity, but a rejection of our impact. It challenges us to reflect on our relationship with the natural world and the consequences of our actions. Perhaps the island's story is not just a tale of a forgotten people, but a parable for all of humanity. A reminder that our actions have consequences and that true progress lies not in relentless growth, but in living in harmony with the world around us. For the islanders, forgetting the outside world is survival. For us, remembering them is a reminder of what humanity once was, and what it still can be when life is lived in harmony with nature. This has been The Presenter, and you can find more shorts like this on our channel.